Well, renowned forensic pathologist Dr. Raquel Fortun raising questions on the procedure done by prison officials in determining the cause of death of one of the alleged middlemen in the Percy Lapid murder case. Dr. Fortun now joins us here in the program. Dr. Fortun, good afternoon to you and thanks for joining us today.
Good afternoon.
All right, so first off, your name was mentioned by Justice Secretary Boying Remulla as one of those who could possibly independently witness the autopsy. Have they reached out to you yet, either the Justice Department or the Mabasa family?
No, wala.
Wala pa.
Wala.
All right. So once something like this happens, I know that you're following this case very keenly as well. Once something like this happens, where do you first begin? Where does one look first? A prisoner dying inside the prison facility under mysterious circumstances. Where should a trained eye look first?
In the first place, we should have a system. Automatic yan. You have a person in custody, deprived of liberty. The state is supposed to be in charge of that individual. Anything that happens to him or her, it has to be investigated. And this is a death. And if you have a working death investigation system, this is one of those cases where you don't really need a consent. You don't need a request. Automatically, the procedures, the process kicks in. And you do an investigation of the circumstances, the scene, and of course, the body has to be examined. And when you say examination, it's a real forensic autopsy.
When you say it's a real forensic autopsy, is that what is not happening at this point? What do you think?
Well, definitely. I've been in practice here for, 27, 28 years. And what I'm saying is that these are not proper forensic autopsies. What they're doing on those dying of violent deaths, and that's it. If you have an inmate, there's really no system, and then the standards are so poor. Sometimes you get an autopsy report, and classically it's only 1 page long. Not much there to begin with. And the worst is that I am seeing cases where there is a pretense that an autopsy was done, like an autopsy report that is not reflected on the body, meaning the body was not examined at all. So how come you have an autopsy report? Where did the findings come from?
Okay, let's go back to the case of June Villamor, dying all of a sudden. Reportedly, either he fainted, lost consciousness, had difficulty breathing, rushed to the hospital, but within 30 minutes was pronounced dead. If you have something like that, if that's the case, where do you look first?
Definitely what the clinicians find, when the patient was brought to the hospital, that's important too. And as I said, the circumstances. You're saying that he wasn't feeling well. There were signs that he lost consciousness or whatever. Just like any case, you go back. How was he before? Was he under medication? Had he been treated for something? Because you keep an open mind about this, it could still be a natural cause. So that is just reviewing non-medical information. But definitely you have to examine that body. And again, you keep an open mind. And a forensic autopsy, for instance, does not just do an external and internal exam. You have to do toxicology. That's part and parcel of a forensic autopsy. But again, in the Philippines, I don't think that's done.
Well, that's being ordered by the Justice Secretary himself. He wants a thorough investigation, including a toxicology report. So when you try to investigate the potential toxins involved that led to the death of a person, what are you looking for here exactly?
Well, the big question is, would there still be suitable samples for toxicology. Because again, in the Philippines, typically, bodies are taken to funeral parlors that are not equipped for forensic cases. They don't have storage facilities, and the best way to store a body is to refrigerate. Do they even have body refs? So typically, to preserve the body, to delay decomposition, embalmers do their thing. And you introduce chemicals even before the actual autopsy. So when you do the examination and you get access to blood, to urine, it's too late. So if you're going to ask for toxicology now on an embalmed body, how many times have we discussed this? It's too late.
And the other thing, I mean, of course, we're talking about the body, preserving the body, but what about preserving the scene when it happened? Would that be essential as well in determining what happened here, really?
Oh, yes, definitely. You correlate everything. It's totality of evidence. What are they saying? What is the body saying? And then where did it happen? You look for clues wherever you can. And I really have no idea what kind of scene it was. Did he just collapse in his cell? But you know what cells are in the Philippines. It's not really your first world jail where you have an individual inside the cell.
Yeah.
I have no idea what kind of scene you're going to look at.
Talking about ideas, I want to know what idea this death certificate gives you. If we have that, to the control room upstairs, please. Can you please flash the certificate that was given to the media and the tweet that you sent out after looking at that certificate? What does the certificate tell you at all, Dr. Fortune?
Well, it was signed by a doctor, and apparently he's a physician of the hospital where the individual must have been taken to. Okay? And all right, what he's doing is he pronounced the person dead. That's not wrong, but you have a lot of questions like what is the cause of death? What did he die of? And also you have this issue of manner of death. So how do you classify this death according to the circumstances, etc.? Is it natural or unnatural, and so on? So again, we have a lot of problems when it comes to death certification as part of death investigation. I don't think death certification in the Philippines is taken seriously. I don't think it's even taught well in medical schools. In my legal medicine and forensic pathology classes, after training, I made sure I would discuss that. That's a must know. But a lot of doctors apparently are not aware of what to write there, etc. And it's also problematic that we don't have a system that would automatically teach them, guide them. It's supposed to be reviewed by someone. Sometimes the reviewer is the certifier, so it's just one person. So mistakes are not picked up. I'm doing a lot of reviews of death certificates also now.
Yeah.
And again, it's really deplorable what we have.
And as we follow this case, the Mabasa family now seeking for an independent autopsy to be done on June Villamor. How crucial is this, do you think, in determining what really happened for someone else, for a third party, an independent party, to look into the cause of death?
I'm aware that the case, I heard that the case had been referred to NBI. And wouldn't you consider NBI as an independent party? So I'm not sure if that is sufficient. I'm not sure if they have pathologists. I'm aware that Dr. Lim, also a forensic pathologist, is being consulted time and again for cases. So why not refer this to Dr. Lim if NBI is coming in? Sure, but why would you want request for an independent investigation in the first place if automatically, as I said, there is already an objective, impartial, independent uh, investigation that comes in? And when you speak of a death investigation system, actually, it's not the police. It's actually a health concern. Death is a health concern, so it should be under the Department of Health. And that gives you independence.
So there you have it. Like
it doesn't happen.
like the whole trust or lack of it in the system. When you said, why do you even have to have a third or an independent party to look into this if there's a system in place, and if you fully trust that system, then there will be no need to call for an independent party to look into the autopsy.
Because, the core of the problem is we don't have a system. Okay? Now, for this particular case, you have the Mabasa family wanting an independent examination, right? Now, the question is, what right do they have to ask for one?
Yeah.
Okay? Because, again, the present scenario in the Philippines is you need the next of kin to consent to that procedure, because we don't have really laws saying this particular death has to be automatically investigated and there's going to be an autopsy. We have the ancient sanitation code. So how do we go about it? You can have the state prosecutor, I think, or maybe all the way up to DOJ secretary authorizing it. You need the local health authority, which is the mayor, also authorizing it, or the chief of police. So we really badly need even updated laws for this. So I am not too sure if the Mabasa family by themselves
Can actually request.
Can ask for, or make sure that a so-called independent autopsy be done, separate from what is being done already.
Because again, they're not next of kin. I'm sorry, but we run out of time. Dr. Raquel Fortun, their renowned forensic pathologist, joining us this noon, giving us her thoughts and insights on this case. Thank you for joining us today. Take care and you keep safe.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.